Hi, I'm Roland, COO of V4IT, and we are the makers of the Aveedo business application platform. Aveedo has recently been announced by IBM as a preferred solution to modernize Domino applications. And I'm super excited to be showing you today how Aveedo works under the hood, how it works in a live environment, and how you can use it to modernize Domino applications for yourself or for your clients. V4IT is an IBM Gold partner located in the northern part of Germany in the beautiful city of Bremen. We have a team of 35 engineers and 2 of them are IBM champions. Our 3 business units are of course our Aveedo business application platform. Then we have a cognitive solutions unit focusing on leveraging the power of IBM Watson. And last but not least, we have a strong managed services unit as well that administrates and runs IBM collaboration infrastructure on behalf of our clients. Aveedo is a complete business application platform, and it is also the fastest way to modernize existing Domino applications. On average, we save at least 70% of the workload as compared to standard modernization techniques like X pages. Our Aveedo Scanalyzer analyzes your existing applications and comes back with a lot of information of how complex these applications are and how much time and effort it would be to actually modernize them using Aveedo as compared to X pages. Once you've made a decision and move forward to modernize your applications with Aveedo, the Aveedo Modernization Wizard does most of the work for you. The Modernization Wizard automatically transforms the user interface of your existing Domino applications into Aveedo and into a web-enabled, responsive, modern user interface that you can use in any web browser, on your mobile phone, on tablets, and we also have a native app interface for that. The Aveedo Modernization Wizard also automatically translates all your add formula business logic, and backend agents will also continue to do their job. Further business logic that may be hidden somewhere in the views is being reconstructed with our Aveedo workflow modeler and also with a side-by-side script editor. And you will learn more about that later. Once your applications are inside of Aveedo, you can use the full power of the Aveedo application platform to enhance and augment your existing applications and also to build new ones from the scratch if you'd like. The Aveedo Designer is the tool that empowers you to do that, and if you are familiar with the Domino Designer, you will find out that the Aveedo Designer is basically a very modern and cool version of the Domino Designer, and it allows you to change and edit and build applications without deep programming language. Of course, inside of Aveedo, you have the full flexibility to insert your own code, and you can do that using JavaScript. So you have the flexibility of being able to transform applications exactly to your needs, but you also have the convenience of the Aveedo Modernization Wizard doing most of that work for you. Once your applications are inside of Aveedo, you are flexible with regards to where you want to take the working environment of your employees. If you are in an on-premise Domino environment, you want to stay there, that's perfect for Aveedo. But also if you want to move to the cloud and leverage the power of Verse in a cloud or in a hybrid cloud scenario, that's also perfectly possible. In the end, Aveedo unties your Domino applications from the Notes client and gives you all the freedom you need. Aveedo transforms your Domino application user interfaces into rich content web applications. These web applications are responsive out of the box, so you can use them on any screen size with a web browser. Another great feature of Aveedo is that once your user interface has been modernized with Aveedo, it is multilingual out of the box as well. So for different language versions, you do not need different apps as you used to with the Domino applications, but you can use just one application and basically translate the menu structure of that application and apply it to the views, and then all your users can use that same application just in different language version. If you prefer to use your application within a native mobile app, you can also do that with Aveedo. We do have a native iOS application and a native Android application, and both of them also come with an offline mode. So you can store select data on your mobile device locally and take that away with you, maybe to a region where you have no network, to a plane, to a train, and still continue to read that data. An offline edit mode is also upcoming. These applications can also be used on desktop PCs and on Macs, so you can also leverage the power of that offline mode with your computer. Another powerful feature of Aveedo is the ability to use our charting tool to visualize your existing data. And that's very easy with Aveedo. Just configure an application to display a certain set of data as maybe a chart, a pie chart, or a timeline, and Aveedo does that for you. You don't need to program these data visualizations, and they can be really helpful in allowing you to visualize what actually happens, like in, for example, visualizing your vacation management and absence times, right, in a timeline, or visualizing travel cost data. Another way to visualize data is, for example, to visualize your data in the form of an agile board, of a Scrum board or a Kanban board. In this example, you can see how we use a Scrum board view for activities. And then you can, your activities that you would usually just have in a to-do list, you can just visualize them by status in the swim lanes of a Kanban board. And we use it a lot, and you can drag and drop your activities between different statuses, and that makes your work a lot easier. One of the most powerful tools of Aveedo is our workflow modeler. You can use the workflow modeler to graphically create business workflows, edit existing workflows, and also use it to recreate business logic that was in your old Domino applications. And that can be very beneficial also with regards to the maintainability of your applications. If you compare the maintainability of 3,000 lines of spaghetti code hidden somewhere in a view and basically just modeling some sort of business workflow to a graphical interface like our workflow modeler, where you can see what is actually happening, and you can basically edit actions and processes just graphically, and just by configuring them, that makes your application a lot easier to maintain, and it's also a very future-proof way to go about business process modeling. Another great tool that Aveedo provides you is the Office integration that comes natively with Aveedo and out of the box. That means that you are able to create Office documents like Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, or PDF files just from any data that you have inside of your applications, and it will render that into your individual templates that you can define completely freely to your needs. Last but not least, Aveedo gives you the full freedom to create your own REST services and to connect your applications with any third-party system that you may want to connect it to using the Aveedo REST API. And that basically gives you the full flexibility to connect things like Watson Discovery, a cognitive search engine, to search across all your data inside your Domino application. And we just demoed that at Connect 2017 in San Francisco. Another use case is to use Slack or Watson Workspace as a user interface for your existing applications. And we do that, for example, for our CRM system. So you could just type little commands like about, name of a person, or company, name of a company, And inside that chat, you would get back all the data for that person or for that company that exists in your system. So with the Aveedo REST service and API, you are super flexible to do whatever you want to do with your data, and also to create your very own front ends if you want to. So you can use our pre-configured user interfaces. You can easily change them and adapt them to your needs, but you could also build your very own user interface using some crazy modern web technologies that you may want to use, and just plug that into your application data using the Aveedo REST API. Now let's take a look at what happens under the hood if you modernize a Domino application using Aveedo. As you would probably know, inside a Domino application, the layout, the business logic, and the data are all stored together in one .nsf file, which is on your Domino server. Aveedo basically takes the layout and the business logic and transforms that into an Aveedo configuration. But it does not touch the data layer of your applications. So your data physically just stays where it is now. The transformation of the user interface and the business logic happens in a very automated way. So all the views and layouts and user interfaces are recreated automatically by Aveedo so that they can be accessed from any web browser, from mobile phones, and they are responsive out of the box. We automatically translate all the formulas, and the business logic, backend agents will naturally continue to work as we are still on the Domino server, right? And also all the security rules, replication, clustering, access rights on field level, and everything that you love your Domino server for will also continue to work as expected and as it works right now. Only you will have a fresh and modern user interface that can be used from any device. And with Aveedo and with Aveedo's REST API, you are free then to connect your applications to any other application or service that you may want to connect to. For example, IBM Watson, which is obviously a great opportunity to leverage the data that you have. If you want to, you can also store your data in an external RDBMS database. So we have situations where clients require that the data is stored in an RDBMS database in order for them to better integrate that into their existing or new planned infrastructures. And Aveedo is also able to do that, so it is also able to work with data that is stored inside RDBMS databases, and we can also do that export for you. But Aveedo itself is a Domino application, and it needs the Domino runtime. It leverages all of the great Domino capabilities. Aveedo does not require any additional hardware or plugins or clients to be installed. It just uses your existing infrastructure and runs on your Domino server. Now let's take a look at the options you have with regards to your infrastructure once you have modernized your applications with Aveedo. The first thing is, once your applications are modernized with Aveedo, you do not need the Nodes client anymore. So you could change to Verse, and you make use of that cognitive inbox and all the great features of Verse. And you could do that in an on-prem scenario, in a hybrid cloud scenario, or in a full cloud scenario. And I'm going to explain you now how that would work. So first of all, in an on-prem scenario where you run your local Domino server and you plan to continue to do so, there's really nothing that you need to do. You could change to Verse on-prem, and I would recommend to do so because it's a really cool email client that is a lot more modern and it has a lot of more up-to-date functionality and features, and is, in my opinion, a lot better than Microsoft Outlook, for example. Or you could just stay in your environment as it is. One common question that we get very often is, When I modernize my applications with Aveedo, can I continue to use a Nodes client? And the answer to that is yes, you can, as long as you don't make changes to the business logic of your applications using Aveedo. In our experience, once your applications are in Aveedo, it is very tempting to leverage the power of the Aveedo business application platform to actually enhance and augment your applications. And of course, once you start to do that, you cannot continue to use that same application inside the Nodes client unless you make the same changes to the original Nodes application, which maybe does not make a lot of sense. So if you do a one-to-one migration, and that's very easy for simple applications, but it can also be done for more complex ones, then yes, you will be able to use that application from the Nodes client or from the web browser or from your mobile using Aveedo. So while you can do that, actually we found that in most of the cases there's actually no reason to do that, and once people experience how cool it is to use their applications from the Aveedo web application interface, they actually do not use the Nodes client versions anymore. And last but not least, if you are still using the Nodes client and you haven't tried Verse yet, please go ahead and do so. Try Verse on premises or try Verse in the cloud, and it will really make your life easier and more productive. The second scenario is a scenario where you are maybe currently on-prem, but you want to move to the cloud. Maybe you're not sure yet whether or not you want to do that in a hybrid scenario, where you still have your local Domino server. And in that scenario, and that's actually the scenario that we as V4IT also operate in ourselves, in that scenario, as you still have your local Domino server, again, there's no need to change anything for Aveedo. Aveedo runs on your Domino server, your data is still there, and you can do everything else with Verse in the cloud, and that works out of the box. So again, here there's no need to do anything except from installing Aveedo on your Domino server, which is as easy as installing any Domino application. Right, so let's take a look now at a scenario where you want to move completely to the cloud. And IBM certainly encourages you to do so. So if you want to move your complete mail and collaboration operation to the cloud, of course there's no more local Domino server, and you will need the Aveedo, the Domino runtime in one or the other way to continue to run Aveedo, right? But there are several options that you can use to do that, and that are also cost efficient for you. So one possible scenario is that you move your mail to the cloud and we deliver the Aveedo application as a managed service to you. Another possibility is that you yourself basically downgrade your Domino server to a utility server or even to an Xwork server, depending on the size of your operation, and you continue to run just that one locally or somewhere in a private cloud, or again as a managed service by us. The third possibility, and we have demoed that already in 2016 at Connect, is to make use of the Bluemix XPages runtime. So you could use Bluemix as an XPages runtime for Aveedo and have your whole application platform in the IBM cloud. Now that we have talked a lot about Aveedo and you learned how it works under the hood, let's see it live and in action. In the following live demonstration, we will modernize two Nodes client applications using the Aveedo wizard, and then we will show you how easy it is to enhance the layout and how easy and fast you can augment these applications with other services using the Aveedo designer. So let's take a look at how this can be done. Before we fire up Aveedo, let's take a look at our demo databases. We have two simple databases here, an internal address book with save and edit buttons and a little date picker here. And we have a second application, which is fleet management applications with a couple of company cars in here. So we are going to migrate these two applications with Aveedo. So let's fire up Aveedo first. And as you can see, this is an empty instance of Aveedo. And I'm now going to open the designer. And from the designer, I'm going to select the migration wizard in order to get these two applications into Aveedo. Once you select here, single database, migrate all forms and views, you basically just have to select the database that you want to migrate to Aveedo. Press next step, and then you're already at the finish line. And now Aveedo gets all the document views, layouts, forms, masks, and makes them available in Aveedo. Also the business logic. As you can see, it worked already for the address book. Now we are going to do it again for the fleet management application before we take a look at the result. So again, I just have to select the folder and the actual application that I want to migrate. Click on next step. And here we go, finish line, creating views, creating documents. And now I have both applications already available in Aveedo. When I click on an application name, I can edit its properties. I can, for example, add a description like cool people at V4IT for the address book. I can change the application icon, and I can select a start screen for the application. I'll do the same for the fleet management. I edit the properties, I add a little description, cool cars. I add a car icon for this application, and as a start page, I want all cars by name. Let's save this, and now let's take a look at our formerly empty Aveedo instance reloaded. And here are the address book and the fleet management application, and of course all contents and all documents are already available. These applications are already responsive, and you can use them on tablets, on mobile phones, and on any web browser. So when I click on the address person view here and I go to the edit mode, you can see we have automatically reproduced all the action buttons and also the date picker. Now let's change the design to a 2-column layout. That would make better use of the available space here, because what we just did was just a one-to-one migration from Notes client to the web browser. Now let's make it look a little bit nicer. So for that purpose, I can just drag and drop a panel from the elements field on the left side and drop that panel below the original panel and say I want a 2-column layout here. And once I apply the 2-column layout style also to the original panel, apply change, now you can see now I have both panels next to each other, and I can just start to drag and drop fields from the left to the right. And as easy as that, I can also drag and drop a new field here. Let's include a new field for the Twitter name of the person in the address book. So let's call that Twitter, give it a field name Twitter. It's a text field, so I just have to apply the changes, and that's done. And the next thing I want to show you is how to add a database connection to the fleet management application. So I add a new field called car, and this field is not a text field but an object relation. Now I can select the object that I want to relate to. In this case it is a car, and I want to show the car by type. Once I apply these changes, I also have to set in the field properties the view that I want to show when I want to select a car for a person. And I can also select that this car should be displayed as a navigation link, so I can jump directly from the address person view to the car. So once I've reloaded this view, you can see we now have the 2-column layout, and we have 2 new fields, Twitter and car. And I can select a car from the view that I specified earlier. You can already see it's underlined, it's a link. I can add my Twitter handle, which is Roland_V4IT. Excuse me. Once I save that, and let's take a look at this view in the read mode, you can see the cars are linked and it takes me directly to the respective document of the other application. So let's also add a Twitter stream below this view and maybe a Google Maps view of the location for the address which is specified above. So I just drag and drop a custom content field below my tab container, and with the custom content field you can add HTML, client-side JavaScript, also server-side JavaScript, but for that please refer to the specification, to the documentation. So if I gave it a 2-column layout here because I want to add Google Maps, and here is just a little snippet I prepared to display the Twitter stream, and you can see what we do here is we call the internal Aveedo API to get the field value of the field Twitter that we specified earlier. And I just want this Twitter stream container to show up when there actually is a name, a Twitter name. So I write here, if this field is empty, then please hide the complete container. Never forget to apply the changes. And now I want to have a Google Maps container next to the Twitter stream, which displays the location for the address specified above. So that container should also have a 2-column layout. And here I have prepared a Google Maps snippet, and here is where I pass on the location and the street to Google Maps using our Aveedo API. This is pretty straightforward, and once I apply the changes, I should now be able, maybe I clear the cache first, to reload my address person view. And as you can see, it now displays my Twitter stream, and it also displays the location that is specified above. Now when I go to maybe Michael Neukirchner, he's located in Dresden, so you can see that's dynamic really. Google Maps now shows his location in Dresden, and as he has not specified a Twitter name, there is no Twitter stream box. But once I input here maybe V4IT, save that, now here's the Twitter stream from V4IT. So that's pretty cool. The last thing I'm going to show you is we have this About Me field here, and I'm now going to integrate another custom content field which I want to connect to Watson's tone analyzer. I'm sure you have heard of IBM Watson cognitive system, and I want Watson to take a look at the content in the About Me field and give me feedback for that. So here again I just add a little snippet. This is where I get the content. I want to analyze the About Me field, and this is a little Node.js application that we have written that talks to Watson in Bluemix. So I have to do 2 things before this is going to work. Firstly, I have to select the About Me field and give it a custom CSS class which is called About Me, so that our script knows which content it should actually pass on to Watson. And then this is pretty cool. Inside of Aveedo you have your own resource library. So once you have done something like we done here, which is a little Watson service, you can basically make this service available anywhere inside of Aveedo. Just copy paste the resource link. It is given in the resource library, and I just need to update this link here now. So it has the current link for the service inside of aveedo. Apply the changes, and then basically we should be good to go. I will clear the cache, and then let's reload this view. And as you can see, there's now a tone analyzer box with a button that you can push. I'm going to do that in the edit mode so you can see changes when I change the input. So you can see now there's this seems to be a pretty cool text. There's a lot of joy in the emotional tone. And when I change the text to "I hate my job," we should get a different result. So this is really a live service. Let's get Watson to work on this, and you can see a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, very little joy in that. So I'm quickly going to change that back to the original text and have Watson analyze that text again. And there we go. That looks much better. So that's just a small example of how easy it is to enhance your applications once they are inside of aveedo.